I think Tampa will take both games in Tampa to start the series, and then Montreal will win 2 games in Montreal. But then Tampa will win the next one, and then Montreal will win the last two. Uh, I think Montreal will do the same thing the Bruins did. They'll lose all their games on the road until the last one, the one that matters, happens, and they'll take home the cup. What are your predictions?
Suns have the best backcourt duo.
Yeah, so we've already talked about Burrow a lot, especially how he's influenced the Bengals organization to do some questionable things.
A great job from the Islanders to rebound off that and force a Game 7 with Belavie's game-winning goal in overtime in Game 6.
We don't talk about the 2010s because the 2010s had the Astros, and if the Astros didn't happen, the Yankees would have won in 2017 over the Dodgers.
I'm going to say it's during the Week 17 game after the Cowboys have clinched the division, so we just put Benanucci in.
Vegas was really outplayed the last 3 games of this series, and they did not seem like they wanted it as much as Montreal did.
And then the Oilers versus the Jets. Jets haven't been playing well. Oilers, you got a great offense with Connor McDavid. So I have them sweeping them.
Yeah, well, I don't think you heard my point. The San Francisco Giants have 3 more in the 2010s than the Rangers have in their entire history. So, yeah.
It's hard to get back and to get back-to-back wins. And I don't see the Lightning doing it here, so I have them losing to the Hurricanes in 6.
DeAndre Ayton, I think, will step up in this series and shut down Jokic enough for this to work out for them.
He was close to Frank Reich, and they want Frank Reich back, so that's what they got. It's their discount Frank Reich in Eagles' eyes.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew, Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props, he definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more.
What would you have said if I bet you $100 at the end of the round robin and start of the playoffs that the Stars would be in the Stanley Cup playoffs? Or Stanley Cup finals.
Hi, this is Julie Dobbs. You're listening to Outsiders Opinions with Kevin and Austin.
What is up, y'all? Welcome to our MLB season predictions review. And it has been a while because this was over 100 episodes ago, Austin. Because we're around 158 right now, so 113. I think that math is right. I don't know. We had trouble figuring out this math for our predictions review, so make sure to check out episode 45 where we did predictions for the season. And the points go +3 for a playoff team. Doesn't matter if they won the division or not. +3. If they made the playoffs, you get +3. If you get them in the right spot, that's +1. No matter. So, we both had the Rangers as the worst team in the AL West. And so we got +1. But if you got a team winning the division, that means you get +4 because 3 + 1 is 4. And then a team that you didn't have making the playoffs and made the playoffs was a -1. Same thing for a team that you had making the playoffs and missing the playoffs. That's -1. So, Austin, we're just going to go division by division, and then we'll say our points for the AL and NL. But the final score came out to Austin with 18 points and then me with 23 points. So I get back into the win column as I try to catch up with Austin in his all-time lead. So let's just start with the AL East. I had the Yankees, Rays, Blue Jays, Red Sox, Orioles. I have Yankees +3, Rays +3, and then Orioles +1 with a -1 from the Red Sox because they made the playoffs. +3, as I explained, Rays and Yankees. I was really scared of my Rays pick when I made this, but I'm really glad with what the Rays did, and I'm a believer in them. So how did your AL East turn out, Austin?
Yeah, this is my worst division in all of baseball. I had Yankees, Blue Jays, Rays, Orioles, Red Sox. I had Yankees +3, Blue Jays -1, Rays -1, Orioles 0, Red Sox -1. Just a terrible division. The Rays are really what made the difference in the entire prediction, and it's not necessarily surprising that I lose when I have a division that got me 0+ points.
This is also the birth of probably one of the all-time quotes in this podcast history of Austin saying there's no way the Red Sox make the playoffs. And then they do make the playoffs. And to make it worse, they knock out Austin's team, the Yankees. And then they win another series. And so this is the birthplace of that. And I'm never going to let you down with that quote.
Yeah, I feel that. That's okay. I have some quotes of my own.
Yeah. So now we go over to the AL Central. I had White Sox, and I get a +4 because I had them winning the division, and I got them making the playoffs. Twins, -1, Tigers, +1, Royals, +1, and then Cleveland. We both thought the Twins were going to do much better, but they really just, I don't know what happened to them. They just collapsed. But Tigers and Royals, I got in the same spot. Cleveland also surprised us, but they didn't do as much damage as one team when we switch over to the NL. How did your AL Central turn out?
So my AL Central went Twins, White Sox, Tigers, Royals, Cleveland. The only thing we had different here was White Sox and Twins, and the difference was negligible. Twins -1, White Sox +3, Tigers and Royals +1, and then Cleveland 0. Disappointing, but like you said, the Twins really let us both down.
Yeah, and now we go over to the AL West. The Astros +4, and then Athletics, Angels, Mariners got no points from any of those three teams, and then the Rangers I got +1. So not a huge. You and I did the same on the AL West, so I'll let you. But we disagreed in the middle, but we got the bookends correct.
Yeah, the only difference was that I had Angels second, Mariners third, and Athletics fourth. I really thought the Angels were going to push for a playoff spot. I obviously didn't have them making a playoff spot, considering the fact that that they got no minus points for me. But they didn't really improve as much as I thought they were going to, and Trout's absence definitely aided that.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like maybe if Trout is not out for a majority of the season, they do push for that playoff spot because even with how bad the rest of their roster was, if you have Trout and Otani, I think you should be pushing for it. Like they do have good players. Rendon also kind of had not his he didn't he didn't play well, so he should bounce back. And then of course they found Jared Walsh at first base. And they've made some additions that I think they should do better next season. But we'll save that topic for another day. So now we switch over to the NL. We'll go to the NL East. And when we were doing this, I remember saying we both agreed that this could be the most competitive division in baseball. And it was competitive, but not for the reasons we thought. It's because no one really could. It was like the NFC East. And if we want to compare it to football, but the Braves would go on win the World Series. I have the Braves +4 because they won the division and they made the playoffs. Mets -1 because I had them making the playoffs, but they didn't. Then the Nationals, Phillies, Marlins, no points from them.
Yeah, disappointing division overall. I had Phillies getting the first spot, and they definitely let me down. Next, it was the Braves, the Mets, Nationals, Marlins. I had the Mets in the right spot, so I got +1. Nationals, Marlins got 0. Braves, I had them making the playoffs, so I got +3. And then Phillies -1. Disappointing though.
Yeah, maybe if the Nationals don't trade at the trade deadline, they do better. But they should do. Well, they'll have better players next season. They could be set up in the future, but you never know. So now we go to the NL Central. I had the Cardinals winning the division, but they didn't. But they made the playoffs, so +3. Brewers -1 because I didn't have them making the playoffs. Then Cubs, Reds +0, and then +1 for the Pirates. And the Brewers really surprised me. I believe more in the Cardinals. Um, that's pretty much how my predictions went in the NL Central.
Yeah, this was my best division. The NL Central got me 5 positive points. I had the Cardinals winning the division. They got me +3. Brewers, I didn't have making the playoffs, but I had them in second, -1. And then Reds, Cubs, Pirates, in that order, perfectly predicted. I'll get +1.
And now we move on to the NL West. Very disappointing because I'll get to it. So Dodgers +3 because they made the playoffs, and Padres -1 because I thought they were going to make the playoffs. Diamondbacks third. Giants -1. This is the one that really hurts us. No, and I don't really blame us for thinking this because like the rest of the baseball world thought they were going to be rebuilding, and then they just go on and have their best record in franchise history with 106 wins, or is it 107?
They had 107.
107. That's pretty sure that was their best ever in their history. And they, of course, won the division and made it to the playoffs, so that's why I get -1. And then the Rockies +0 because Diamondbacks were the worst in this division, then the Rockies, and then the Giants jumped all the way to number 1. So Giants is really bad. It turned out really bad with what we thought they were going to be.
Yeah. Disappointing. This is another one of my worst divisions. I got 1 point for this. Dodgers +3, Padres -1, Diamondbacks 0, Giants -1, and then Rockies 0. I can't believe that I had the Giants at 4. But I mean, again, like you mentioned, I don't necessarily blame us. It was a surprise season, but we should have had more respect for the team as they were impressive.
They were. They really were. They had some standout years from their veteran players like Brendan Crawford and Posey, and then just some really nice young players. And they should be poised this year, depending if they do more on this in this free agency. So that is pretty much it. So that's how the points came out. I win with 23. The splits were in the AL, I got 16 points, and then I got 7 in the NL, and that equals 23. And then Austin, I'll let you go over your splits.
Yeah, so I had 9 in each. It was mine were not carried by one side like Kevin, but the AL carried Kevin. That's okay. When you get carried,
Specifically, the AL East.
when you get carried and you win, it's still you're good. You're still good. Yeah, Kevin got +6 out of the AL East. It was
Thank you, Rays. So
yeah,
and they
and,
definitely made some interesting moves.
Yeah, and now they got Kluber.
Oh yeah, I think he'll no hit the Yankees. That's how I think it will happen. Kluber will have a renaissance season. So that's how I think it will happen. So thank you for listening. Let us know what you thought of our predictions, and make sure to be looking out for more from us. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.